Hello friends, welcome to Technopoints. In this video, we are going to learn about how to integrate a tab-like UI in our own Android application. Like there will be a different tabs at the top and we'll have a different screen according to the selected tab. So this type of approach can have two different requirements. First one is that the layout should be the same across all of the tabs which we have at the top and just the contents will be different. Another requirement can be the different tabs can have different layouts according to their functionalities. And in this tutorial, I'll be showing you both of the ways how you can implement this tab layout in our own Android application. So we'll be using the tab layout and a ViewPager2 element to implement these things in our application. So let's get started. So here I am in the empty project. It doesn't have anything. Activity main.xml just have this constant layout, no any element in this. So let's implement the approach one for now. So in this approach, what we are going to implement will be just creating a three different tabs, and we will be creating a one image layout in which the image will be replaced by the different images as we click on different tabs. So for that we need one layout just like we create for the recycler view. So just right click on this layout, new layout resource file. I'll mention it as item view pager because we will be using a view pager element for this. So we have created this item view pager. So for that we will just implement one image view here. Image view. We'll put this width and height as a 300 dp both, and let's give an id of an image view, image underscore view for this, and let's constraint it to the center by vertical and horizontal. Yeah, we are done with this file. Now we can close this file. Now in the activity main.xml, we will be creating a tab layout for at the starting. So here we can write tab layout. So you should be careful about when we write tabl. By default, table layout comes at the top. So we can just we in the hurry just press enter and we end up using the table layout. But we want to do that. The tab layout comes from the enter.material.tab layout. So we want to select this one. Just click on this one, and we want this as a width as a match parent and height as a wrap content. We'll give id to this. Id will be also simple, tab underscore layout, and we'll constant it. So we'll constant it as a top to the top of parent, and yeah, that's it. And below that we need a view pager element, so that when we click on the respective tab, a respective view pager element should be able to show the respective content in the layout. So we want a view pager here. We'll set is width as a match, sorry, width as a match parent and height as a 0 dp, so that the height should match the constants. We'll provide the constants, constant top to bottom of this tab layout and constant bottom to bottom of parent. So what we want to implement is we want to just show the different images when we click on the different tabs. For this, we can also create three different fragments and then load those fragments one by one, but it doesn't make sense because we already have a single uh, a similar layout, and we can just reuse the single layout with just the adapter. So that thing we are going to implement, and we'll add id as a view underscore pager. That's it for the activity main.xml. Now we need an adapter for this. The adapter will be the same as the recycler view adapter. So if you don't have any idea about how to create adapter, I'll be creating adapter here, but in the detail I will not be explaining. So you can I have a separate tutorial for the recycler view where I have explained the adapter things in detail. So you can just go and watch that. I'll provide the link in the description box for the tutorial. So just right click on this package, new Kotlin class, and let's name it as ViewPager adapter. So we'll extend this from a list adapter which comes from recycler view widget. And here what we'll be doing, as we'll be showing the images, we'll be not be directly passing the images. Instead we'll be passing the image resources, and the image resource is always of integer type. So that's why we need this of type int and a view holder class for this. So I'll write image view holder, and in this constructor we want image diff utils and call constructor of that. And I'll create a inner class here, inner class image view holder, and this will accept the view which is of type android.view, and we'll extend this from a recycler view dot view holder. And now we are able to import this. So just alt enter on this, so we'll be able to import this image view holder, and we will be passing this view to this view holder. Okay, now we want to implement some interfaces here, some methods of the interface. So in this on create view holder, we'll implement them later. First we'll create one method here, that is bind function bind. So this function will have that respective id of the image view. It will be of type integer, and we'll be using a data binding in this layout in this project. So if you have not added enabled data binding, so you can just go to build.gradle and just type a data binding enabled as a true here. And you also need to add a Kotlin cap plugin here. Once you sync the project, you will be able to use the data binding in your project. So I go to my layout file and implemented data binding. I'll alt enter on this and click on this convert to data binding layout. So my layout, why this layout file will be converted to data binding layout. So I can use data binding on this file now. So here I'll create one variable that will be a late init, where it will be a binding and it will be of type item ViewPager binding. So I'll using this binding dot image view. This image view is the same which we have created here. If we control click on this, we'll land on this image view. This is the single layout file, item view pager, and this is the image view which we'll be reusing for each of the tab. So we binding dot image view, and now we'll be setting the set image resource. We'll be setting the image resource of the which is denoted by this respective id which we get from this function bind. And in this onCreate view holder, as we have onCreate method in the activity, this is the first method to be called when the adapter is created. So here we can initialize the binding variable. Binding equal to data binding util dot inflate. First argument is a layout inflator dot from. So this requires a context. So we have here parent, so we can get the context from parent, like parent dot context. Second parameter is a layout file which we need to integrate r.layout. In this case, it is our item view pager. Third parameter we need to pass as a parent, and fourth is a false as a attached to parent. So we need to set it as first in most of the cases. And here we have to return image view holder. We have to return this image view holder. Okay, we'll be going to return image view holder, but this image view holder requires a view. So how we can provide it the view? We can provide the view with the help of this binding variable. Binding dot root it gives us the view, and we are just returning this view. And this return view is then accepted by this image view holder class, and the same is passed to the recycler view.view holder class. Now in the onBind view holder, when the it will be called when binding for the every element. So here we get this image view holder instance, so we will just use that holder dot, and we can call this bind method which we have created here, bind, and we also get the position here. In this bind, we need to send an id of the respective uh, drawable drawable image. So how you can get that id? That can be get by the method get item, and get the item from which position? The position which we get here. So we'll pass this position here. So it will return us an element, an integer type, and it will be sent to this bind function here, and this id will be set in this image view as a set image resource id, and this is the same image view in is our layout file, and the image respective image will be set in this image view. So this is how this all works, and this is the one class which helps us to make the comparisons faster. So we want to create this class again. Class image diff utils, it will extend from diff util dot item callback. It will be an integer, it will be of integer type, and we'll call constructor here. And we need to implement two methods on the of this. Our item the same, we just need to return old item. Now this is the method to compare if the items are same. So each of the item has a hash code which is uniquely created for that. So you can just use that hash code equals new item dot hash code, and it will be easier for it to identify. And if you want to compare the contents, we can just use a return old item equals new item. So it will compare the each of the contents in this object. So that's it for our view pager adapter. So currently we haven't used that anywhere, that's why it is showing in faint gray. So we'll be using that. Now go to our main activity. Now let's create the different mm, instances for this. So I create first instance for tab layout. This is a tab layout, and second one is a view pager. It will be a view pager 2. Okay. In the onCreate method, we will be initializing both of these. Tab layout equal to find view by id r dot id dot tab layout, and for the view pager, we will be using find view by id r dot id dot view underscore pager. That's it. These both are now initialized. This error is just like it says that this id doesn't exist in the respective layout, but it do exist. This error sometimes comes, but you can ignore this error because it is just something which comes by default with the id. So this may be a bug. So this error is not a real. So after that, we have one method. We have created a tab layout, we have created a view pager, but we want to uh, attach them with each other so that swiping and clicking on tabs should work together and show the respective image. First, before that, we need to attach a adapter to our view pager. How we can do that? View pager dot, will use an apply here. So we can directly access the properties of the view pager here. Adapter, so we can just pass a view pager adapter constructor here, and the adapter will be applied. But this adapter needs a list of IDs. So we need to create a list of IDs. For that, we'll be showing the three tabs, and for that we need a three different images for that. So I have already pasted these three images, these image 1, 2, and 3, and these images will be showing in our uh, application. So we need to create a list for this. Well, image IDs list, image ID list. This will be a mutable list of, will be an integer, and will be r dot drawable dot img1. I'll duplicate this 2 times and replace it with 2 and 3, and that's it. Our image list is now ready, image ID list, and we can just now attach it. How to attach it? We can just use adapter and cast it as a view pager adapter, and we can enclose this in a rounded bracket and click on dot submit list, and we'll submit this image ID list here. So that this image, this adapter will be set to this view pager, and this image this image ID list will be submitted to this adapter. So we just now want to do one thing, that is attaching the view pager with the tab layout. So for that we have one method, that is tab layout mediator. So we can just use this method. It accepts two parameters. First one is tab layout, which we want to attach, and another one is a view pager element which we want to attach. And in this we can get two elements, two parameters here. First one is a tab, another one is the position. If you hover, and this is the just a lambda function. If you just hover on this tab, you can see that data type is tab layout dot tab, and if you hover on this position, it will be of integer type. Now we haven't created a names for the tabs, so we can create the name for the tab here itself. So we can use the when condition here, when position is. So the positioning starts from 0 for everything in our generated computer science. So for the tab, it also follows the same thing. So when position is a 0, it will be your first position. So what we can give the name to that tab dot text. Let's give a name as a similar to the WhatsApp, like a chats, and we'll duplicate these 2 times. And for the 1 and for the 2, we'll give as the status, and for the 3 we'll give as a calls. So this will be a different tab names. And now we just need to call dot attach function on this, so that this both tab layout and view pager get attached with each other. Now we are good with the implementation, and for this error I'll just rebuild the project so that this error should go. Yeah, this error has been gone, and now we are ready to launch our application and see how it works. So here my application is open, and we are able to see the different images here. I'll swipe to the right, the status tab is selected. I'll again swipe to the right, calls tab is selected, and we are able to see the different image for each of the tabs. We can alternatively directly click on these tabs to see the respective layout image, and we can directly jump from this chats tab to this calls tab, and it will also work. You can click on this in any order, no issues with that. So this is the one approach. I have, for illustration purpose, I have just taken this image view. You can just take any number of items like a text view or image view, anything you can take, but it will be same for all of the tabs. But for this, if we want to handle a different case number 2, which I have said in the introduction itself at the starting of this video, then how we can implement that? For that we need to create 3 different fragments. So let's now move towards that second approach, how to do that. For that I'll close this, and we some things we need to comment out. We don't need this list, so we'll comment this list. We don't need this adapter, so we'll comment this, and we'll need this, so we'll see it. So these things we don't need. For that we'll just create a three different fragments. I create this fragment 1 and clear the unneeded code. We only want this on create view method, nothing else. And I'll go to this fragment1.xml and we'll give a text name as a fragment1 and we'll attach and we'll assign a size of 30 sp to it and we'll make a gravity at the center. So I'll be doing this for all the three fragments. So here I have created all the three fragments and the respective text between them for their respective layout files, fragment 1, 2 and 3. So we don't need these fragments because we don't want to do anything for in this. So I'll just close this, close other tabs. Yeah. Now we need to create a separate adapter. This adapter will come in no use, so we need to create a separate adapter. So just right click on this and new adapter. So we'll name it as view pager fragment adapter. Okay, now this will extend from fragment state adapter. So this fragment state adapter, it requires activity fragment activity. So we'll accept it in a constructor fragment activity and we'll pass this same fragment activity to this fragment state adapter and our error will be gone. Now this needs some methods to be implemented. There is a two methods, get item count. So as we will be creating a three different types, so we can just return here three hard coded. And in this create fragment method, this create fragment method is basically a method which is responsible to take the position of the respective tab which is selected and return the respective fragment to show to the user. So if we here we can also apply a when case. When position is, it also starts from 0 0, then we want to return a fragment 1 and the fragment 1 will be shown to the user. I'll duplicate this two more times, the same thing which we have done earlier, fragment 2, and now I'll send the fragment 3 if the position is 2, and in the default case we will be return the fragment 1. Yeah, that's it for this adapter. This adapter is pretty simple. We are done with this. So just again move to main activity and we want to set this adapter now just like we have set here in the first approach. The second approach we will be setting it here, the view pager, view pager dot adapter. We can just uh, assign this adapter and sorry, not view pager, view pager fragment adapter, and this requires an fragment activity, so we can just pass this. So adapter is attached and that's it. That's it. We don't need to do anything other than that. So I'll just run our application again and see how it differs from our first approach. Now our application has been launched and yes, we are able to see the fragment 1 here. If I click on this middle tab of the status, fragment 2 is there, and if I click on this calls, fragment 3 is there. So now we have three different fragments and we can adjust the layouts and adjust the functionalities for each of the fragments by going to their respective XML or Kotlin file and handle UI and backend functionalities from the respective. So this now layout of these all three will be interdependent of each other. So we can just also click on this tab and we can also swipe it to and fro. The behavior is the same but the approach and functionality will be different. So this is how we can implement tab layout in our own application with the two different approaches. I have shown both of these two. As when I was in the learning phase, I was stuck for all of these different approaches, and it was very difficult for me to understand which one to use. Now I have tried my best to explain in this video so that you will get a clarity of which approach you want to use according to the respective requirements. If you like this video, then please click on like, share with your friends, and subscribe to this channel so that you will keep updated with every next video when published. We will meet in the next tutorial with some another interesting Android topic. Till then, goodbye. Happy coding.